What's going on? Welcome back. Hour number 3 of what we hope is your favorite sports talk radio program. The whole gang back together. JP running the show here in the rowpaint.com studio. I'm Johnny Ballgame, my partner, Mike Prater. And game week continues. Touchdowns for tickets, Prater. We're doing that this hour, giving a chance to someone listening to become a Boise State season ticket holder. Possibly we'll have soapboxes. Boise State football talk, game week. Let's get after it, my friend.
Are we going to do the touchdowns for tickets in this segment, or the second segment, or the third segment, or the fourth segment today, Ballgame?
I'm not going to give that information out. That's just too rich, man. I'm not going to hook somebody up that way. You will have to listen maybe to the entire hour today, right now, to get that opportunity to qualify. I just don't know. Maybe we'll do it at the end of this segment. Maybe we'll do it during feedback finale, Prater. I just don't know.
You're cruel, Ballgame. You're cruel.
Okay. Here's what we do want to talk about. The Idaho Five. Now, it felt to me with this program 15, 20 years ago had a little more Idaho flavor, probably not that much more than it has right now. Local players staying home and starring on the blue, playing, not just being some walk-on on the depth on the roster sheet, Prater, but actually someone that they use on the 2-deep depth chart.
College of Idaho has, I think, in the 40s. The Idaho and Idaho State have somewhere in the 20s when it comes to Idaho kids, and Boise State has 16 Idaho kids on their roster overall. Today we're talking about the Idaho Five, as Johnny just said, the 5 impactful players that have made the 2-deep roster. They all bring beautiful stories. They all bring intrigue, and they all can have an impact on Boise State's football season. We're not talking about Connor Riddle, local Timberline High School flash. He's the holder, maybe the most steady, dependable player on this football team, but he is the holder. No offense there. We're going to talk about Austin Bolt, Jonah Ojukwu, George Tarlas, Scott Matlock, and Jonah Dalmas, all Treasure Valley High School rock stars. Ballgame, I was at the fair last week chasing Stone Temple Pilots and corn dogs with you, and I stumbled over to the blue and orange store, and there was a table with a whole bunch of jerseys on it. Asked the dude, who's the most popular? And there was Skinner, there was Cobbs, there was Helani, there were rock stars all over the place, and he looked me in the eye and said, it's Dalmas and Matlock by far.
Yeah.
So we know that, thanks to the beautiful men like Brock Forsey, who might be the best Idaho player that you and I love. He's right there on that list.
Yes.
All the way back to even before Brock Forsey, but certainly Brock Forsey and up to today, Boise State fans love, cherish, worship their local football players, and there are 5 good ones on this year's list, Ballgame. They're going to be big-time players for Boise State this football season.
And I think it probably starts with Scott Matlock, Prater, local kid, has a really interesting story of him growing up, and we had a chance to talk with him today, and he did talk about that, Prater, about his leadership and his role and how blessed he is to be from Idaho and be a big player on this team.
If you guys have driven by Broadway in the last 48 hours, you've seen them. They've added those big giant posters. If you can see it looking on Broadway, looking westward to the stadium on the east side of the stadium there, those big giant mural posters, the first one they put up yesterday, Scott Matlock in all of his digital glory. That's a beautiful tattoo. It's a beautiful piece of artwork, and I can't wait to watch his beautiful game. But he's kind of the no pun intended, the poster boy of the Idaho Five.
He is. Scott Matlock, John Ojukwu, Austin Bolt, George Tarlas, and as Prater said, Jonah Dalmas. Let's hear from Scott Matlock talking about his leadership role and blessed to be where he is in this position right now.
Yeah, it's a great honor. I'm very grateful. I'm very blessed. I just want to do everything I can to help this program, the city, this place, and, all my teammates. So it's cool and all to get that kind of stuff, but I just want to help out the team and this program as much as I can.
What did you think when you looked the first time I saw the banner out there on the side of the stadium?
I laughed. I was like, Coach D is going to give me a lot of crap for that one, but it was cool. But so what? I got to still perform well and do my job. So I'm not trying to think of all that right now.
The way he conducts his business is so stinky. I want to be as cool as Scott Matlock.
They're a big dude, man. He's a powerful young man.
Very
in
personal,
many ways.
Yeah, and very personal, but also just very matter of fact, serious and business. Like he kind of checks a lot of fun boxes there. And Coach D, Spencer Danielson, his position coach, the defensive coordinator for this football team, is going to give him a lot of crap. We know how Spencer operates, and they're going to walk by and say, oh, they're going to shake their head at that. But it's a pretty cool deal. And if anybody can handle the success, Scott Matlock, you don't have to worry about Scott Matlock handling his
getting
business.
a big head or an ego or any type of that stuff. No, man, this staff is not worried about Scott Matlock in that regard. And yeah, driving by Broadway, you'll see those new posters up. There's only 3 of them up. Typically they do 4. I don't know what the holdup is or whatever. Maybe the 4th is going up tomorrow, but individually it's Scott Matlock, John Ojukwu, or both local products, and Dimitri Washington. Those are the 3. They went blue collar this year for that, Prater.
I like
no
it.
Sexy 4-year starting quarterbacks, no running back. I mean, JL Skinner. I mean, they have some guys that they could have put up there, and think they went blue collar with the 3 that I mentioned.
Boise State, absolutely zero marketing of their 4-year starting quarterback.
None.
But I think it's by design.
Yep.
I know it's by design.
Yep.
And I think he said, I don't want to do squat. I don't want to go anywhere. I don't want to say anything. I don't want to do anything. I don't want to be honored. I don't want to show up to any media photo sessions. I just want to clear my mind, focus on football, and play football. Hank Bachmeier is not marketability guy for Boise State football this year.
Interesting, but he's not, and that's probably a conscious decision. I agree with you on that. Who is your favorite, or who is the best Bronco football player who's a local product, who played high school football in this valley? Text us. Tell us who makes that cut for you. Is it Brock Forsey? Is he the greatest Idaho product to ever play for the Boise State? Maybe some other names are popping in, Prater. And I mean, John Ojukwu might be a 2-time first-team all-conference tackle. Scott Matlock, might be an all-American candidate. Both probably get drafted or certainly in an NFL camp. So you've been in this town forever, Mike.
Mike.
Yeah, I know. That sounds kind of weird, huh?
Jeez, where'd that come
does,
from?
Man.
Stop it.
When this town has really good local talent, is the buzz a little louder, in your opinion, in covering this team so long? It doesn't matter, just as long as they're winning. I don't care if the kid's from California, Texas, or somewhere in Idaho.
I think so. I mean, we talked about this a couple of weeks ago, why the tight end position is so important around here. I think it's because of that string of 3 or 4 or 5 local tight ends that came through here and were so damn productive, and many of them ended up in either the NFL or Fiesta Bowls. So, I think in that particular case, yes, I think of the Corey Halls and the Shea McClellans, the Matt Paradises, although, Council's up there in the mountains. It's not necessarily here in the Treasure Valley, but local kids doing impactful things and doing great things. So, if you're a local kid, you're going to be popular. You're going to be very, very popular. And, I just, we've watched them. There's lots of family. There's lots of friends. We've heard the name recognition. A kid from California, it's going to take him a couple of years to get through the system. We hear about a recruit, and then we see the headlines, but we don't see them on the field for like at least 2 more years. At least we know the Idaho Five. Scott Matlock today did talk about briefly the 5 football players that we're calling the Idaho Five. Again, Austin Bolt, John Ojukwu, George Tarlas, Scott Matlock, and Jonah Dalmas, all from the Treasure Valley. Here's Scott Matlock on his cute little club.
It's awesome to be a hometown kid, grow up watching Boise State football and not be able to play and, be in a leadership role and help the program out, just like past Idaho guys have done, So it's super cool. I'm very grateful for it. I'm very humble about it. I love all the other Idaho guys, try and favor them a little bit more. But no, it's awesome anytime an Idaho kid can get a shot.
All right, Ballgame, simple question. I'm going to take Austin Bolt out of this because he's got a completely different situation. I can make a case for Dalmas, Tarlas, Matlock, or Ojukwu to have the best season, the most important season, the most valuable season, the most impact on this football team this year. Who you taking number 1?
The Idaho Five, who has the most impactful season this year of them?
Yeah,
the
minus Austin
Idaho
Bolt,
Five.
minus the Idaho 4.
I'm going to take Scott Matlock, the guy you just heard from. Everybody I've talked to that's around Scott Matlock talks about how, man, how dedicated, how the mission that Scott Matlock is on with his life to become the best Scott Matlock he can be. And I think he's on a great road to that just now. Last year, Prater, he had, 8 sacks from a 3-tech D tackle. I expect him to be bigger. I know he's stronger. He weighs more. He's faster. He's more he's as dedicated as he's always been, which is the most dedicated guy on this team. If I had to pick one of these guys to be an All-American, an All-American, not all Mountain West, I'm going with Scott Matlock.
I don't think that's the wrong answer. And the only reason I ask you is because I was too chicken to answer. Everything you just said, I believe in. But let me throw this at you. George Tarlas might have more sacks. I don't think Matlock had 8 last year. I don't think it was quite that high.
Okay.
But, and I think there's a chance, and I know you would also agree with this, that George Tarlas might have a chance to get more sacks than Scott Matlock this year.
I think he will. I think he will have more sacks.
What about Jonah Dalmas winning 2-3 football games? How important is that?
Gosh, it feels like it's been a while since Boise State has won a big game on a kick going through the uprights to win it, right?
Yeah.
And if he can have, you said, a couple of those this year and save the season, say Jonah has this against BYU or Fresno, maybe even a couple of days from now in Corvallis, maybe you could argue Jonah Dalmas has that clutch factor. Sadly, the only time Dalmas has had that type of opportunity was Oklahoma State last year. And the ball didn't go through the uprights, whether it was tipped or not, whatever the heck it was, it didn't work. If he would have made that kick, Boise State beats Oklahoma State, or at least ties them. I thought they would have beat them. But, if Jonah has that, then sure, he can be on that list.
And we both probably know the real answer to that question. It's going to be Jonah Ojukwu. He's the most dominant player on this football team. He's the one that's grading out at A+ every single time. I think he's going to have a lot of postseason accolades on this football team if he can stay healthy. But here's the deal with Jonah Ojukwu. When he does his job, nobody talks about him. When he does his job, he's totally quiet. He'll grade out an A+. He will not give up a sack all season long. He may not even give up a quarterback hurry all season long, and nobody will talk about Jonah Ojukwu because he's just quietly, personally and physically, the way he goes about his business on the football field, doing his job. So I think he's going to be the best player out of this group, but the most quiet. I think Tarlas and Matlock are just going to be productive, loudmouth beasts, and I'm saying that in a good way. I think Dalmas is going to finally win you a football game, and maybe we can just get Austin Bolt to finally catch a pass.
Yeah, let's get Austin Bolt going this year. Who knows? I mean, obviously the Borah Flash, everyone wants to see the Idaho 5, all local products, all on the Boise State 2 deep depth chart going into this season. Love it, man. Scott Matlock, you heard from him. How about this? Prater's got a beef. Utah State is going to Alabama this week for $2 million. Colorado State is doing the same thing, going to the Big House and playing Michigan. Would you like to see Boise State ever at least put itself out there to try to get one of those big, fat paycheck games playing a really good team in a really big, hostile environment stadium? Is that what you guys want to see? We're going to talk about that. Should Boise State take these paycheck games? On Prater the Ballgame, Idaho Sports Talk, KTIK, The Ticket.
From the Beacon Plumbing Traffic Studios, this is Ticket Traffic.
The connector out of downtown Boise is slowing as you pass the Boise Town Square. Westbound lanes are slow starting at Cole Road and then continues until you get past Maple Grove. And there is a crash on 5 Mile at Victory, slowing traffic. And a reminder, Eagle Road southbound, road work beyond Houston.